According to U.S. intelligence, Israel rapidly eliminates the estimated of terrorists to kill Hamas rapidly because it kills only 20-30 of 30,000 militants. Authorities told Wall Street Journal that more than 3 months ago, Hamas, which ruins Gaza, keeps most of the war power with sufficient ammunition, continue to shoot most of the war power. Israel and IDF troops for months. Estimation claims that approximately 9,000 Hamas terrorists have been killed in middle of IDF since beginning of war. The United States estimates that Hamas has 25,000 to 30,000 members, has a more conservative estimate than Israel, and terrorists have crippled the war power 30,000 or more. The United States also contradicts allegation Israel's allegedly wounded in the war of 16,000 Hamas fighters, and about half them returned to fronts. The magazine estimates that the American officials were only injured 10,500 to 11,700 terrorists, and that many of them had finally returned to the war. Approximately 163 Palestinians were killed in an Israeli airstrike last week. 4 IDF began to issue soldiers from Gaza, but Hamas terrorists restarted operations in previously cleaned areas. IDF refused to comment on American figures. Hamas has not yet commented, but the group often denies heavy losses in the war. The estimates from the intelligence officials show questions about the feasibility of Israel's goal of destroying Hamas and concerns about growing civilian losses in Gaza. According to the Ministry of Health, operated by Hamas, who did not discriminate between civilians and terrorists, death fees exceeded 25,000. Many were believed to be women and children. The death fee in Gaza exceeded 25,000. IDF estimates that he has released 9,000 Hamas fighters. With updated figures, the ratio seems to be similar to last month's forecasts, when Israeli army admitted that about 2 civilians were killed for every dead Hamas terrorist in Gaza. This was an IDF spokesman as tremendously positive. IDF evaluated that the war would continue during 2024 to release more than 130 Israeli hostages, which Hamas is trying to dismantle its operation in Gaza and is still under captivity. Following victories in Northern Gaza, after raids get back war efforts from United States, Israel began to issue some soldiers from Palestinian settlement educate and relax. 4 Palestinians called the survivors in Southern Rafah after an IDF airstrike on Wednesday.xinhua However, due to possibility that Hamas forces stay strong along settlement forces, U.S. warned that Israel will continue to see reappearance of terror group in North and Central Gaza. Such incidents have already occurred. IDF's early this week, just a few days after Israeli soldiers cleaned up the region. This week's report of Gaza's rocket fire was reported. He said that the Israeli army had previously lost Hamas operational control via and that IDF has focused on south since December. This emphasizes concerns of a few Israeli officials who